Today's reading is from Acts chapter 2, verse 42 to 47. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common.
They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favour of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Morning, everyone. My name's Allan, but that's what it says here anyway. So. I've been asked to say something about our vision for pastoral care here at Christ Church. What is pastoral care? Now, we do have a nicely worded statement, and Susan has kindly printed some off, so if you want to take it away and read it and whatever, you can do that. But I thought I'd try and demonstrate it, because it's far more interesting and far more fun and far more scary, for me anyway, with 3 different scenarios. So I brought with me my pastoral care burden today. This bag is really heavy. I'm really worried because I've got a wire down my back, a thing around my neck. So this bag represents all my responsibilities. Oh, it's heavy. The cares and burdens that I carry through life. It represents my life, and today it's really heavy. I need some pastoral care. Is there anybody out there that can give me some pastoral care today? Ooh. That's convenient, isn't it?
Here's one we prepared earlier.
Morning.
Hello, Alan. What's in your bag?
It's all the cares and burdens and responsibilities of my life that I carry.
What's this pathetic-looking thing?
That's all the money I possess, just those few coins. In this financial crisis, I've got no money. I'm really worried about it.
Well, you've not managed your finances very well, have you?
No.
I thought you were a mature Christian. I thought you knew that the Bible tells you to trust in God and he will supply your every need. I'm really quite disappointed. But I'll tell you what, I will pray for you. And I'm a bit busy now, so I can't stop now and pray for you. But you come and see me tomorrow and we'll have a good talk and we'll get this sorted out. And you need to sort this attitude out. I hope to know that you've been on your knees before God.
Well, I feel great now. Felt bad enough before I came. Now I feel 1,000 times worse. Shall we give her another chance? Have another go.
Morning, Alan.
Morning.
What are you carrying?
It's all the cares, burdens, and responsibilities of my life. It's really heavy today.
What's this?
That's all the money I've got left, just those few little coins in there. I've spent it all. I'm so worried I can't pay any of the bills or anything.
Well, you know what? That's not a problem.
Ooh.
You see, God has gifted me with lots of money.
Ooh.
And I've got a wonderful, kind, mature, rich husband.
I've heard he's very handsome as well.
Who is extremely generous. And you know what? Let me just take this back.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to take it home, put it with all the others I've got, and we'll get it all sorted for you. Nothing to worry about.
Mm. I don't know if I feel any better or not. I feel slightly guilty, actually, that she's done that for me, but wow, okay, fair enough. Let's give her a third chance. Sorry, one more time. I've got to put this back on my back. Oh, it's heavy. That pillow is really heavy.
Morning, Alan.
Morning, Kathy.
You're carrying rather a big bag on your back today.
Yeah, it represents all the worries and cares and responsibilities I have every day. It's really heavy this morning.
And what's this one then?
Oh, that's all the money I've got left. I've just had to spend it all on bills and all. I'm really worried about that.
That must be really, really hard for you. Do you want to tell me any more about what's going on? If you did, I'd be very happy to meet up with you. I could be free tomorrow. We could talk about things.
Okay.
Is that something you would like to do?
Yeah, if you think that would help.
So, why don't we take your bag off, your bag? And why don't we share it?
Oh, that's a lot lighter, that is.
And so they set off into the sunset.
So very briefly, what kind of carer are you and I, if you think about those three scenarios? My guess is that we've probably practiced all three. So the first one is someone who actually increases the burden, at least of guilt and maybe of anger. There are two big no-nos in pastoral care. If you remember nothing else from this little bit, remember the two big no-nos. The first is to tell people that everything's going to be okay. We want to do it, but unless you're God or you can tell the future, there's no way you should say that to someone. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is my pet little thing. I always, every chance to get this, is that when they mention something that's worrying them, don't talk about your own experience of the same issue, okay? If they say, I've got a hospital appointment tomorrow, don't say, well, I had one last week. Listen to them about their scenario. So whatever, it's here, isn't it? I've just failed my driving test. I feel terrible. I failed mine. First time I hit the curb. It took me 3 times to pass, then I passed. Everything will be fine. I think I've put what's a better answer. Wow, that's tough. Do you want to talk to me about it? So number one is someone who basically tells people what to do. The second one is not much better. That's the one where she took the whole bag off me. In kind of counselling jargon, you become a rescuer, not a carer. You take the whole of people's responsibility. You do for them what they could actually do for themselves. And pastoral care is about treating people as adults and helping them work out what is their own responsibility and what is something that you can help take off them. And obviously number 3 was meant to be the best way to do it, to share it. And there's a great little passage in Galatians chapter 6. Just read this as I finish. It says, share each other's burdens. Okay, that's what Kathy did with me. And in this way, obey the law of Christ. So it's a Christian thing to do. I like this next bit. If you think you're too important to help someone, you're only fooling yourself. You're not that important. You can make what you like of that. It's good, isn't it? Then it says, pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else, for we're each responsible for our own conduct. So share each other's burdens, but take responsibility for your own conduct. It's a balancing act. We mustn't go one way or the other. We're called to be pastoral carers, to share each other's burdens, but we're also to take responsibility for our own lives. And everybody in the church, everybody is called to be a carer. But as we know, we do have a pastoral care team here at Christ Church who are able to give particular care and support. And I think we're going to hear more about that now.
For those of you who are new here, I'm Janet, and I'm part of the Explore team. And this is Joanne, who heads up our pastoral care team in church. Joanne, you're the pastoral care coordinator. How long have you been in this role, and why are you in this role?
I have been in this role since January 2020, and before that as a volunteer for 5 years. I moved to England in 2001, and when I was living back in Northern Ireland, I really felt for quite a number of years God leading me, and I wanted to pray the prayer of, Lord, I love helping people. Please let me help people. And I can look back, obviously, and see God's hand and how he's brought me to where I am today. So, yeah, I feel that he's led me to this work.
Brilliant. So, you're coordinating the pastoral care team. What is the role of the pastoral care team here at Christchurch?
Okay. The role is to provide extra help and support when it's most needed. So that could be different circumstances, illness, bereavement, other life events. It could be having a baby, something positive as well. It's about thinking about a person's needs, journeying with them, walking alongside them, giving them that help and encouragement when they need that most, and helping them, as Allan has said, to treat them like an adult as well, obviously. It can be, pastoral care can be in the small things that happen. It can be as simple as sending a text, a card, picking up the phone and seeing how someone is, meeting up with somebody to listen to them, to perhaps pray with them. It can be offering practical support. So that could be cooking a meal or cleaning or something practical. There's 9 of us in the team, and they all give of their best, their commitment. But we can't, unfortunately, meet every single need, and sometimes we do have to signpost to professional support as well. 3 areas to the team's work is practical help and support, pastoral visiting, and prayer support.
Thank you. Now, what is a typical week like for you, if there is such a thing as a typical week?
Well, every day is definitely different. Some things in my week now are sort of fixed in the diary, as it were. So I help with the bereavement support group on a Tuesday morning with Amanda and Lindsay from Riverside Church. Then there's lunch club every Wednesday. So I make telephone calls to catch up with somebody, to encourage somebody. I will coordinate practical help, so that's lifts to hospital appointments, all sorts of appointments, to lunch club, to church, things like that. It's shopping, organising shopping, sometimes doing these things myself as well, making a meal, practical support, pastoral visiting, which Elsie's going to share about that, and prayer support as well, organising prayer support. Also some training with Allan. It can be things like listening skills, and we had bereavement care awareness training for the team. So there's lots of training that we do as well. So lots of different tasks, I think.
See that? Okay, so within that great long list you've given us, what is the most fulfilling part of your role, and what do you find most challenging?
The most fulfilling is definitely meeting up with people, potentially one-to-one with someone, and maybe being able to pray with them or praying in my own time. I remember when I did meet with somebody, and it was afterwards, quite a while afterwards, but then they were able to share how much that had meant to them and helped them, and that was a really big encouragement to me. I just want to say thank you to God, really, because so many times I feel so inadequate when I do meet with somebody, and he always helps me, so I just really thank him for that. Yeah.
And the challenging?
The challenging things, definitely doing something like this, where I'd rather be sitting at the back and watching it all happen. I can at times get very tired. I can get emotionally tired from maybe difficult situations. It's keeping those boundaries between my work life and then the rest of my life. So those are my challenges, yeah.
Okay, thanks. And then final question from me to you. What would you like people to take away from this service today, Joanne?
I think, as Allan has already talked about it, but is that we all have a part to play and we can all be involved in pastoral care. I am so thankful for all of the love and care that everybody in this church family shows that I know nothing about, and that is completely right, and that's fantastic. So thank you all for caring for one another so well. The pastoral care team is not, as I say, it's not an exclusive group by any means at all. Home groups do a fantastic job of caring for that group. And again, just to thank the leaders and the members of all the home groups. Everybody can be involved and play their part, and we all have a responsibility for pastoral care. I just also wanted to say thank you for all those who have come before me in leading the team, being involved in the team, and for what you've passed on. And for the team itself, thank you all for being on the team. I couldn't do my job without each one of you. So thank you all.
Okay. Right, well, I've done my bit now. I'm going to leave Joanne out the front where she doesn't like to be, and she's going to be talking to some other people to give you a bit more information.
So I'm going to start off with Michael. So Michael, how long have you been on the pastoral care team?
I think it's probably about a year.
About a year, okay. And what do you do, and why do you do what you do on the team?
So any of those who think you might like to help, but you can't do counselling, I can't do counselling. I'm not particularly strong on prayer, but I have got a car. So if somebody needs a lift and I'm free, I've got a car. For instance, to take people who are less mobile to lunch club or to coffee mates, occasionally to take somebody for an outpatient appointment. I suppose just things. There's somebody Margaret and I used to take to lunch club, and the normal pattern is to ring in the morning just to say we're coming to collect you at 11:15 or whatever. And on this occasion, Margaret rang up and she said she didn't want to come, which was surprising because she likes lunch club. So then we did think, well, we could just call in anyway. So we called in about 11:15 as we normally would, to find that she was sitting in the front room waiting for us to come. So having said she wasn't coming, then she'd got ready to come. So we felt when that happened, we feel you're doing something good.
Thank you, Michael. And do you enjoy it, Michael? Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I do enjoy it.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, Michael. Right. Elsie is going to share just a little bit about what's involved in a pastoral visit. So, Elsie, how long have you been on the team, and can you tell me what's involved in a visit?
I think I've been on the team for about 4 years, but I can't remember exactly. As we've already heard, a pastoral visit can take place for all sorts of different reasons. Some good, some not so good, some because people have difficulties. Where do they take place? Well, they can take place in all sorts of settings. Sometimes people come to my house, I might go to their house, or in a hospital or in a care home. Sometimes you go out for a cup of coffee and meet somewhere neutral. Sometimes you can even go for a walk and chat as you walk, because you really try and do it wherever the person is most comfortable about talking. And what's involved? Well, I think the main thing is you're giving them your time. And when you're with them, you're listening really carefully to what they have to say as they share their concerns or their worries. Listening not just carefully, but prayerfully to see what God might want you, how he might want you to respond. And I put down, before I knew what Alan was going to say, that we're not there to solve their problems, but we're there to share their burden, which is exactly what has been said already. And hopefully by our listening carefully and prayerfully, by our responses and by our actions and prayers, we help that person and encourage them and share their burden. Often, as you've already said, we pray for the person during the visit, but sometimes people don't want that, but they're nearly always happy for you to go away and pray in your own time. And the other thing is we have to be confidential. If people tell you things, you don't go and tell other people unless they give you specific permission to go and tell somebody else what they've told you.
Why do you do them, and have you seen God at work?
Well, as a member of God's family, we're all brothers and sisters, and when somebody's struggling, your natural reaction of someone you care for is that you want to help them. So I guess it's part of God's love in us that makes us love each other and want to help. Also, I think I'm at a privileged place in life where I'm not having to work, I'm retired, and I haven't got lots of family responsibilities or demands on me. And so I find joy in giving my time to help others. Hopefully I help them, and it also encourages me if I think that I'm being a bit useful. And what was the other question?
Have you seen God at work?
Have I seen God at work? That's a bit more difficult. You should probably ask the people that I've chatted to or been with whether he's been at work or not. But like Michael said, sometimes I think God prompts you to do things a bit off the cuff. You suddenly think, oh, I think I should visit or phone so-and-so. And the number of times that I've found that's just been the right time to call because somebody says, oh, I really need help with that just now, and you've arrived at just the right moment. So I think God's at work prompting us sometimes. but also he's at work. When we pray for people by his Holy Spirit, he helps them with their problem. But more than that, when we walk along beside them, he uses us as his agents to help them through whatever the difficulty is. So I think that's the way we see him at work. Thank you.
Thank you, Elsa. I've asked Christina to come up and share about the help that she actually has received from the team. Christina is now on the team as well. But Christina, can you just give us a brief outline of the help that you, or your situation from a few years ago?
Yeah, well, a lot of you will know that 5 years ago I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a complete shock, and it was quite a difficult time for me and for the family. I had a year of treatment, which was really grueling. I felt very helped and encouraged by the congregation and the pastoral care team. People prayed for me. They offered meals. They brought meals and special puddings for the children, which was lovely. I had cards. I had phone calls. I felt very lifted up by my church family and community. It was a difficult time, but also a special time for us.
How would you encourage someone in the church family to ask for help?
From my point of view, I think it's always easier to give than to receive help. I found it really difficult, but I think it was one of the things that God was teaching me to accept graciously. But I did find that actually, if you accept help, you're actually enabling somebody else to give that help. So turn it on its head, and if you do need help, it's not an admission of failure or of weakness or of anything else. It's just that we're here to help each other. We're a family, and sometimes you're the strong person, sometimes you need that hand to help you along. I think it's been said, but I'm going to just say it again. I think we can all listen to each other. We can all pray for each other. We can all do our bit. We can make a phone call, send a card, send a text. Just being there for one another, just showing that you care, actually means quite a lot. Well, it means a lot, a huge amount, not quite a lot, a huge amount when you're not feeling well or you're feeling under the weather or depressed or sad or any of the many things that can happen in your life.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for listening. Thank you.
And may this be our prayer as we go into the rest of this week. May we share the love that Jesus shares with us.
Oh, kneel me down again here at your feet. Show me how much you love humility. Oh, Spirit, be the star that leads me to the humble heart of love I see in you. 'Cause you are the God of the broken, the friend of the weak. You wash the feet of the weary, embrace the ones in need. I want to be like you, Jesus, to have this heart in me. You are the God of the humble. You are the humble King.
Oh, kneel me down.
Oh, kneel me down again here at your feet. Show me how much you love humility. Oh, Spirit, be the star that leads me through the wash the feet of the weary, embrace the ones in need. I want to be like you, Jesus, to have this heart in me. You are the God of the broken, the friend of the weak. You wash the feet of the weary, embrace the ones in need. I want to be like you, Jesus, to have this heart in me. You are the God of the humble. You are the humble King. You are the God of the humble. You are the